Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. KJRadio.com if you want to call the show, 844-551-8255. We added a digital network. I know the lady's name is Barbara, but I don't remember the digital network. Pretty good sized group. They get quite a few downloads every day. So welcome to that new crew that's on board. And we've also got about 3 terrestrial outlets, and I'll apologize in advance. I don't keep up with that, but we'll put it on the website if you want to know where you can catch the show through a terrestrial station. But most people now, honestly, are getting it through the internet. So I would say go to KJRadio.com. I wanted to talk about Will and Grace. I don't know how you guys feel about that show. It was a show about a gay guy, Will, who had a best friend, Grace, who's a girl she was heterosexual, and the guy Jack, who was with him, who turned out to be really gay, who everybody said he was a straight guy playing a gay guy, and most of us were going, no, he's a gay guy playing a gay guy. But funny guy, funny cast, and I really loved the lady who was the rich lady on the show. Forget her name, Megan Mullally or something like that. But anyway, they all get together. Now, the chick that plays Grace, Deborah Messing, hardcore leftist. And so they hadn't been doing TV for a long time. I want to say, was it 11 years or something like that? And they did this reunion, and I guess the show is coming back. And admittedly, I watched it. It was a funny show. Yes, it had gay elements to it, but it was a play. It was almost like they made fun of the gayness of the show, the same way I poke fun at race. So I thought it was entertaining. And when they didn't get over the top with the gay stuff, it was no big deal. And I think that subtle introduction for adults to gay, to the gay lifestyle, the LGBTQ lifestyle is fine. Again, most of us don't give a crap about people's sexuality if it's not being flaunted. So when Will would occasionally get a boyfriend, you would just see the interaction of 2 very quippy, funny people. And occasionally they deal with a gay issue. I get it. And we weren't beat over the head. But now it premiered. I didn't see it. I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't see it because when I heard that Deborah Messing didn't even want to interview with Megyn Kelly because she's like, well, Megyn Kelly was formerly with Fox. And I'm thinking, grow up. Really? And then, see, that's the way the left are. And now you go, Kevin, you just did it. No, I did it because they did it. And I'm going to do that. I already told you guys. I respond the way they respond, only that reason. I'm not this way naturally. I don't care if Deborah Messing is a flaming leftist. We can have a conversation. I had a conversation with a guy the other night, mad at me, because he says, Kevin, I don't understand how you have these views, and we need to talk man to man, because I said, let's do it on the show. No, I don't want to do that. I want to go man to man. So we did. We talked issue by issue. And you know what happened? He freaking changed. He got off the line going, dude, man, Kev, I got to admit it. You know a lot more than I do. Of course I do. It's what I do for a living. But I'm happy to talk to you about it. And for the record, if he had taught me something, I'd be telling you. But he didn't. It isn't me trying to go, ooh, I'm so smart. I am pretty smart, but it wasn't that. Anyway, here's what they said about it. The premiere episode of NBC's reincarnated Will and Grace was essentially a 30-minute anti-Trump infomercial on Thursday night, and conservatives have taken notice. The first episode of Will and Grace in 11 years referred to First Lady Melania Trump as a hostage, portrayed by Midwesterners as people who didn't eat vegetables until Michelle Obama came along, and featured Deborah Messing's character Grace complaining about the results of last year's presidential election. Now, I'm going to stop there for a second to just tell you, Hollywood was waiting. Here you've got the reunion of an ensemble cast that really was a very good cast. I won't call it the Carol Burnett show, but it was fun. It was a fun show, and I can attest to that because I watched it. And they come back, and what do they want to do? Instead of picking up on just the normal, things of life, they decide to make it bash Trump. So they say this: Grace has somehow landed a job redecorating the Oval Office because Trump, quote, has been pouting that his office is a real dump. After a subtle jab that Melania wouldn't hire anyone for the job who is pretty enough to attract the president, Grace and her assistant headed to the White House, where the show mocked Kellyanne Conway's infamous couch photo, and President Ronald Reagan's Alzheimer's disease. Grace is told Trump wants the Oval Office, to look like he's there from time to time. Another obvious shot. Now, I can stop there and tell you, I'd be done. I don't know how much of this you watched, but I'd be done. First of all, let's be realistic. If you don't like the president and you're not a fan of his, you're not going to be decorating the Oval Office. So sitcoms are supposed to be some sort of a situation where you can at least have a dose of reality. And then to just use it as your backdrop so you can bash Trump, not funny. Even looking at this, I'm just telling you right now, I know this show. I wouldn't have laughed. Even with the laugh track, I wouldn't have even gone. It says People magazine even published a list of all the times the show ripped Trump. People published this list. The premiere episode did well in the ratings department. 10.2 million viewers tuning in, making it the most watched scripted show on television Thursday night. Scripted show. That's funny. The Wrap's senior TV reporter Tony Maglio believes future ratings could depend on how viewers who side with the show politically, whether they do or they don't. I will tell you this, I won't watch it. I was a watcher. Now, I heard Abby Huntsman, who's a friend of mine, she's on Fox, and Abby made a great point. She says, generally, you think these shows would make it and say, let's at least balance it to get the most audience. And you certainly would think a show that's dealing with an issue like LGBTQ and has found a very good formula for making people soften on it, if you will. And they blow it by beating up on Trump. That to me doesn't make sense. Who in Hollywood, that's why I call him Holly Weird, but who in Hollywood Weird would actually not see the long range play here? They say this. Post-premiere, Will and Grace ratings should come back down to earth and will soon settle into a pretty predictable range. The return is an event that had the nostalgia factor going for it, plenty of promotion, generally favorable reviews. This is what Maglio said. The show does have a few things working against it, though. The younger half of the advertiser coveted 18 to 49 demographic don't know or care about all these characters. In a series that takes such a political stance, by its very nature, is divisive. And I completely agree with that. I just don't get this. Look, I'm not trying to win anybody over with our stuff, but like if we produced a show and it was for conservatives, I would go after leftists, but I would go after them with the policies, with the things that are in the context of funny. That's what made Will and Grace funny when I did watch it from time to time, was that if they came after us, they would come after us in something kind of wacky. You know, like we don't like musicals or I don't know. It would be fun. And you could laugh at yourself about it because it wasn't so heavy-handed. Now, man, it's almost vicious. The left, when they want to go after you, sometimes they can be vicious and cruel. And they think we can't take it. Look, let me tell you, it's like when people say, Kevin, you're this, you're that. I'm not even impacted by it. You know what I'm disgusted that you actually think that works. That's what I'm disgusted. These writers believe that works and they're getting paychecks for that nonsense.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.